We have this huge bowl of credit cards that clients used to bring in while they were with us. They just get them by the dozens. They know how much debt you're carrying. They know it. But they'll give you the platinum card, the gold platinum card, the millennium card, and the gold card. And when you get the fourth card, you say, I can't afford this. And guess what? Well, you know why you use it? You can't make the minimum payments on the other 3 cards 1 month. So what do? You take a cash advance on the millennium card to make the payments on the other 3 cards. So now, oh, good, these payments are due. I get a cash advance on card 4 to pay the minimum payments on cards 1, 2, 3. There's no reason for this. No reason. You load people up with debt that you know they cannot repay. And you target those most vulnerable. You target those least able to pay. And of course, you know they're least able to defend any violation you commit. And they have no conscience whatsoever about this. None whatsoever.
They have no guilt.
Oh, no guilt. They have no guilt. Of course they have no guilt. You can't make them feel guilty. But if you sue them, you can make them understand.
Pre-approval, it's like, I love you without ever having to meet you.
Yeah, right. You're a great person. You know, the words, I've been pre-approved. For what? Somebody likes me. They're going to give me money. I got to be a good person. The psychology is very clear. Listen, you're a good person. You're pre-approved. I checked everything out on you. I'm sending you this card with this money. You're pre-approved. Feel good about this, don't you? Right? Now they call you up and say, we gave you this money in good faith. What kind of person are you? Why aren't you making your payment? We don't care if your wife died. We don't care if you lost your job. You need $29. Send it Western Union. You owe this money. You use it, didn't you? What kind of person are you? Guilt. Clients come in to me and they say, this is my debt. I owe it. But I can't make the payment. I feel terrible. I feel so guilty over this. You know what I say to them? Stop that. Don't feel guilty at all. What you are embarking upon now is the business of getting out of debt. I said, think of your family as a company and their shareholders. Just put that in your mind, and you're going to save your company. I want you committed to that thought. When Macy's has financial problems, do they internalize the guilt? And the president of Macy's says, I feel so embarrassed about this. I feel so guilty. What am I going to do? You don't feel guilty about it either. You're Mr. and Mrs. Smith Incorporated getting out of debt. No guilt. Don't internalize it. Don't personalize it. It's business. And you tell your creditor, nothing personal, it's business.
I'm sure you'll understand, because you are a business!
Okay?
I used to have a guy who called me every morning, Mr. Montori, from a credit agency.
Yeah?
And he would leave these messages because I would never, of course,
Return the
pick
call,
up the phone.
Right.
He would leave these messages, Mr. Morris, have you no sense of shame? Or, for example, Mr. Morris, did your parents really bring you up to
this
act
way?
This way? Is that what they did?
It's called GUILT, right? Shh.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
At 6 o'clock in supper time, you say this phrase, call my lawyer. That's all you say.
Would you say that you are in not just the debt reduction business, but the guilt reduction business?
Yeah, right. It's my background as a psychologist. In divorce, there's 2 aspects. The legal divorce, piece of cake. But the psychology of divorcing yourself, the hanging on, lingers. That's why some divorces take as long as 5, 6, 7 years. Until they're ready to let go, you can never divorce them. Psychologically, they're married to it because the guilt associated with that debt is so ingrained and so internalized with them that they cannot come to grips with letting it go. What will this do to my credit report? Will I be able to buy a house 10 years from now? Hello? You think I'll be able to get a car when my car breaks down? You have to say, I can't do it anymore. I'm getting out of it. Tell me what I have to do. Our techniques of getting people out of debt is precisely the methods that Donald Trump used. You know the $100,000 I owe you? I'm going to be able to pay you $10,000. When the dollars are very big and the stakes are very high, they don't treat you like the $2,900 consumer. They call you in, we work out a deal. Listen, Donald, we got to work something out here. And they do. Their risk is great. They stand to lose $1 billion. You owes $2,900 to a credit card company that has 10 million clients. There's no effect on them. Unless you, the consumer, can hold up your rights and say, wait a minute, I'm going to put your feet to the fire here. You violated this, this, and this, and you owe me money.
The bank owes you money?
Absolutely. If a bank violates your rights under the Truth in Lending Law, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, under all these laws, you have a right to now go to them and say, listen, when you gave me this card, you didn't follow the law, Mr. Creditor. You didn't follow the law. I'm entitled to 2 times the finance charges that you've levied against me on this card. How many consumers use the law? The average consumer is not a lawyer. They're amateurs. They're up against professional lawyers. They don't have a chance. The consumer has no chance. MBNA just pulled this one. They sent a letter to every one of their cardholders. You no longer have a right to go to court. I just sit there and go wild over this. You no longer have a right to go to court. You don't have a right to have a jury trial. We're going to arbitrate everything in front of an arbitrator of our choice. And if you lose, you have to pay the arbitrator fees, which we'll charge to your card. Did anybody ever read the Constitution? For Christ's sakes, this is America.